Ready? We will call this meeting of the Yuma Union High School District Number 70 Governing Board to order. If you'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and led by Mr. Lara, and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Thank you all for attending tonight, or this afternoon, evening. We appreciate it very much. Moving on, our first item is board member reports. Board members may have a discussion about conferences, visitations, legislation, special recognition, donations, etc. Does any board member have anything? Mr. Lara.
Yes. Had a meeting, what was it, a week ago, Superintendent Thompson?
Yeah, maybe
About a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
with the Port Director Schwab from San Luis. The reason I requested the meeting was I found it interesting that when the border was closed to non-essential border crossers, I noticed that there were some vehicles with Mexican license plates that were crossing. When I asked, the person in charge told me that these kids are U.S. citizens and the parents are from Mexico. And that is considered essential. That's why they were allowed to come back and forth within the law. So I requested a meeting to get a better, more information, and I'm glad Superintendent Thompson went with me. It was pretty interesting to be there in the morning when workers are coming into the States and kids are walking across. It was very informative because what started off as a residency issue also brought up the issue of the identity of kids when they're crossing with their birth certificate in their hand. And sometimes they lose them. So there's a lot more information, which I'm going to let our superintendent explain to you. But what really, really brought this upon is because we're over the hump, but not out of the woods with the COVID. And I know that the superintendent and staff here do everything within their power to make sure you are safe, that your health is number one. This is a question for you, for teachers and principals. Is it worth risking your life and your health so that parents who are cheating, who are sending their kids here on our tax dollars, putting your health at risk? Just kind of think about that. But anyways, I'll let the rest of the report. Superintendent?
Thank you, Board Member Lara. It was a very informative meeting, and I too learned a lot. I was struck by the organization and the deep work that Director Schwarm had done at the border with his staff. The birth certificate issue, I think, was really pronounced, and I was very unaware of that situation. At one point, I counted 10 children of various ages, and of the 10, 7 had their birth certificate in their hand, out and exposed. And the director pointed that out, that when I asked him his points of pain, his biggest points of concern, he said that that's his biggest concern right now, in addition to the COVID, simply because these children are potentially losing their identity at this young age because those birth certificates are worth a great deal of money on the black market, and they are so easily taken or either theft or the kids lose them or whatever. So we talked about that in depth, and it was interesting to hear his concern for humanity, his plan for COVID, all of the things that he put in place to ensure the safety of his staff. And he's very well aware of all of the outside influences and all of the things that are going on. He has a good relationship, it appears, with his colleagues to the south. So we're actually looking at a meeting next week to continue the conversation with Yuma Union High School District and the Port of Entry to look at the issues that we can truly help in. We don't own them, we don't control them, but we can help because kids are our first and primary interest. And so we're going to look at that aspect of identity theft and what we can do in relationship with some folks in our county.
Correct. Well, something I left out, the last meeting, our board member Gonzalez actually was talking about how good you are, and you are good. I am one of the biggest critics, if you've noticed over the years. And I just think that it's unfair for Gina Thompson and all the staff here, all the rules, laws, policies, regulations that they have to comply with to make you're safe, make sure the kids are safe, and because of a few rotten apples that decide to cheat, they're putting not only your health at risk, like I said, but it's the overwhelming pressure and burden on our superintendent and the staff. So, I mean, believe me, we worry about you. They worry about you.
Is there any other board member that has anything? Ms. Mellon?
Yes. Okay. I wanted to share as a board member, but as a member of co-chair of the Yes Yes Your High Schools campaign. We got to celebrate the groundbreaking on Saturday of the Somerton High School, and I just want to recognize the board and the administration and the leadership I was not on the board. It was Linda Monk and Terry Brooks and Bruce Gwynn and Phil. Am I missing anybody? Mm-hmm. Is that it? That's right. Okay. That the board and the team, that had the vision for all the improvements that have happened at all the high schools that we've been able to see come to fruition, but also the exciting groundbreaking in Somerton. It was the community really came out. There were so many people there, and culinary spoiled us with charcuterie boards, and San Luis Band was incredible, and Principal Alviso led the time together. So it was really a celebration, and we're excited they had 7th graders there that are going to be the incoming freshman class for the Somerton High School. So it was a lot of fun, and I was honored to be there.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Just want to add a little bit more of the groundbreaking ceremony. It's number one, I didn't expect that many people to attend. It was we just didn't have enough chase because we didn't expect that many people. But at the end of the day, it was a great event. And I give kudos to staff for putting that together, and for you guys as a board had that vision back then, and so mission accomplished. And I really appreciate what you guys have done for the Yuma High School District as a whole.
I'll comment on it too, I guess. I was there. It was great. Everybody did a great job. The students were fabulous. The CTE students, I don't think they missed a person there to shake their hands and greet them. The band was great. The students that did however you pronounce it, those boxes of food. Yeah, that thing. They were tremendous. I know Senator Kerr drove clear from Buckeye down just for that event, and she was just very impressed with what we did. So those of you that put it together, thank you very much. It was very, very nice. Ms. Kravitz is online. Did you have anything?
Thank you for the opportunity. It was wonderful, and I second everything that everyone said. It was perfect.
Okay. Moving on, Superintendents Report. Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, President Townsend, governing board members. I'm very excited tonight to introduce a new member to our community, but also somebody who has already made, I hope when you walked in you could see the presentation that he's already made in our community. And I'd like to introduce Ernesto Composano. And if you'd like to come to the podium, and I'm gonna read some information about him. He has moved to Yuma from Texas. He moved here prior to the start of the 2021-22 school year. He's a retired Army veteran, and he's taken on a second career as a sports photographer. So I hope you got to see the pictures when you walked in, and if you didn't, you can see them all across our website. It's amazing work. Upon arriving in Yuma, he reached out to the district to discuss accessing athletic events to take photographs for Max Preps, but also to offer his skills in photography and design, all at no cost. Mr. Composano has a child in our district and wanted to be involved in his new community in any way possible. Since the first week of competition during the fall athletic season, he has regularly attended 3 to 4 athletic events per week, taking high-quality photographs of our student athletes and sharing them with our campuses and families. He has imbued our mission of equity for all by photographing a well-rounded number of schools, programs, and sports. In addition to shooting football games on Fridays, including traveling to Brawley, California to photograph a Gila Ridge Road game, he has also attended volleyball matches, swim meets, and cross-country events. Again, all of this is at no cost to the district, all of his time and expertise. The athletic directors he has worked with have complimented his communication, his professionalism, and his positivity. We want to recognize Mr. Composano for all of his dedication to our students and our community. And as a superintendent, I again just want to thank you so much for your, not only your investment, but to be so quickly wanting to be a part of our community. You're already valued as a parent, as a veteran. We thank you for your service and truly thank you for becoming a member of our community and our district. He wasn't sure he wanted to speak, so thank you for coming up to the microphone, and please, it's yours.
Nah, she thought I was a little gun shy, but I'm not. First and foremost, thank you everyone here, anyone who took the time and the effort to really, acknowledge what I've done or what you guys seem, valuable. I really appreciate that. I don't expect to be thanked for something I promised I would do. That's just the kind of person that I am. But I am very, very grateful, and this is very meaningful for me, hearing all these things. I'm very happy that I can help, or I can help the district with what I can do. I spent a little bit of time going through the web pages and everything of all the schools, and this is a very busy, active, community and district. You got the high school going on. I saw it online. I watched it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. You have so many programs. San Luis High School News channel. When I saw that, I was floored. So whoever did that, man, I'm telling you, that is one of the best things I've seen in a long time. I'm very happy to be here. We're going to be here for a while. We're a part of this community. I do have 3 children here, so one of them's a young one. So I want to continue being a part as much as I can, and hopefully I can continue doing what I can. I told Mr. Patton, I don't know why you're giving me this acknowledgement so early. It started, okay? But if anyone deserves credit, it's Mr. Patton. For sure, he opened the doors for me. He welcomed me, and I felt very welcome in this district. And that goes as far for all the athletic directors, all the staff. I cannot even think of a negative experience I've had in this district. So I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be in Yuma, and I'm proud to be a part of this district, and I will continue to do what I can to magnify our sports and our athlete and our student athletes out here. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. With that, we are going to transition into our student council reports, and first is Cibola High School.
Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Owen Gillette, and I am the Student Body Vice President over at Cibola. Tonight I will be sharing with you all some of the amazing things that we've been doing. All right, so first up is community service. Student Council held a hygiene drive to collect needed hygiene items for the Crossroads mission as a community service project. Several members of the council also chose to visit the mission on a Saturday to help with the family movie night. With that, it was really cool seeing all the kids and how happy they were to have us, and we hope to do it again soon. So moving on to some of our students. Bennett Meyer Wills captured the title of cross-country sectionals champion. Additionally, the boys team took 3rd place and the girls team took 6th. Both teams qualified for the state meet. The boys and girls swim and dive teams both captured the Colorado River Championship and sent several athletes to the state meet. Raider Drama had a successful run of performing Junie B. Jones the musical. If anyone got to attend, you know that they did an outstanding job, and they did amazing. Many of our CTE programs sent students to the fall leadership conferences. I went to one, I attended, and it was, as far as with COVID and everything, just being there and being surrounded by students like me, it was really awesome to see. And going into my senior year, that was just, it's part of the high school experience that we all talk about, so that was amazing. Finally, 250 students were recognized during the A-Team celebration. That's it. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Nice to see you all.
Thank you, Owen. Next, we have Gila Ridge High School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Flores. I'm the Student Body Vice President at Gila Ridge. So first, we're going to look at sports and clubs. So the October Athlete of the Month Award was awarded to senior Amaya Evans for excellent sportsmanship, skills, teamwork, and hawk spirit. Nursing. Gila Ridge High School Nursing has been hosting an organ donation event on campus for the last few months. Our Gila Ridge High School choir held the first a cappella concert of the school year earlier this month. I actually attended, and I love the music. One girl sang Hopelessly Devoted to You. I believe that's the song, and it was amazing. And then advanced choirs sang the theme song to a Nickelodeon show, and it was great. FFA, Parker and Piper Liska did an amazing job at the state fair earlier this month. Piper won the following awards: Champion Intermediate Goat Showman, Champion Breeding Doe, Champion Market Goat, Champion Market Lamb, Champion Intermediate Round Robin Reserve Feeder Lamb. Our staff and student recognitions. Staff Members of the Month. These lovely ladies won Staff Members of the Month for keeping the school running smoothly and providing a welcoming environment for all. The woman sitting is Ms. Santos, and from left to right is Ms. Alvarez, Ms. Bustillos, and Ms. Robles. Teacher of the Month, Ms. Slaughter was selected as Teacher of the Month for her constant dedication to the students. She has maintained a positive attitude throughout the semester and has made this school year easier to navigate not only for her students, but her peers as well. For our Halloween, when people can come dressed in their Halloween costumes, there was someone that actually dressed up as Ms. Slaughter, so that was great. Student of the Month is Taylor Ketty, is celebrated for her ability to balance various commitments and excel in all of them. DBAC School Challenge presented by University of Phoenix. CTE Film and TV Production teacher James Kuzniak was named as the recipient of the DBAC School Challenge and was awarded $5,000. He submitted his grant proposal in hopes of helping create industry-level experiences for his students. Since the start of the 2000-2019 school year, the Diamondbacks have awarded Yuma Union High School District teachers more than $17,000 in grant funding. Student Production Award, Senior Jeffrey Parr, a third-year member of the CTE Film and TV Production at Gila Ridge, has been nominated not once but twice for the Student Production Award in the category of graphics and special effects. Mr. Kuzniak talks about him a lot because I believe he was nominated for an Emmy in some type of category, and he was also on the news for Yuma, so that's pretty cool. Our past events, so here on top left is Student Council putting up posters, and then the two right on the bottom is just Spirit Week, and then that was us revealing our homecoming theme at a football game. And then the two pictures of the fields and a movie. Since we couldn't have a homecoming dance, we still wanted to have an event for the students. So we had a movie, and we had The Princess and the Frog. And that's just more student council pictures. On the top right, that's Genoa, and that's our student body president. And here we're actually making decorations for our annual contest of hallway decorations. And that's Homecoming 2021. Those are our winners down there. And then that's us dressing up in Spirit Weeks. On the right, it's Disney Day. And top middle is, I believe, Decades Day. and that's Jacob, and he was dressed as Jesus. For Cancer Awareness Week, we had Monday wear lavender, Tuesday black and white for uncommon and rare cancers, Wednesday pink for breast cancer, and Thursday gold childhood cancer. On the top left, we were writing messages just to have more awareness on childhood cancer. For Suicide Prevention Week, Student Council raised suicide awareness last month by dressing in yellow and handing out cards displaying the suicide prevention hotline. And on the bottom right, that's me and Kibo and my friend Sophia, and we were giving out papers letting people know that there's always someone there, and we were also handing out ribbons. Future events. Student Council is happy to announce that we will be holding our first dance since 2019. Our dance is currently set for December 11, 2021. We look forward to making our official announcement soon. And that's all anyone can know. We would like to thank our board, superintendent, administration, and all support staff for working hard to keep us safe this last year and giving us the opportunity to start holding significant events again. We are excited to make memories in our new normal. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Vista High School.
Hello and good afternoon, members of the board, Superintendent Thompson, and Associate Superintendents. My name is Melanie Morales, and I am the Secretary at Vista High School Student Council. To start off, I would like to talk about what has been going on at Vista. With the help of the Lobos, Vista was able to raise $52 to donate to the Yellow Ribbon Suicide Prevention Program. 69 Lobos were recognized at the Credit Halo ceremony for earning 2 or more credits in a term. They are one step closer to graduation. We are excited to see many Lobos walk the line in December. Garden Club. The Garden Club members measured out the area where the beds will be placed. A district tractor came in to remove the rocks. As the land gets ready for the beds, garden members have been working on seed spacing layouts and getting the seeds ready for planting. Seeds were glued on paper towels and newspaper, spacing them out for proper growth. Once the sheets are put on soil, the paper will break down and decompose. CTE Adventures. FBLA had a virtual state officer visit in September and will have attended the Fall Leadership Extravaganza Conference, also known as the Flex Conference. HOSA also participated in a leadership conference. That's all we have for you all. Thank you for holding with us today.
Thank you. For those individuals that were part of my report, you're welcome to stay, or if you need to leave for the evening, now is that nice break time for you to be able to do that. And we thank you all for being here if you do decide to go now. Also, governing board members, I hope you saw the email. Very excited about our first, well, it's not our first college career military event, but it is a new way of offering the college career military event. Really focusing on what goes on not only for students while they're at Yuma Union High School District, but potential career pathways and getting involved with their community and beyond. So there was an invitation extended. I think we sent out probably close to 70, 75 invitations throughout the Yuma County. And we know this is a busy time. We promise to take no more than 45 minutes unless people want to stay longer. It was an email sign up, and there are specific times set aside, and space is limited. It will be right here. So we are anxious to display that and give you a real good look at it so that you can ask questions and have that experience. I know that Board Member Kravitz has already signed up. I'm not sure how many folks have signed up other than that at this point, but throughout the community, if you wish to have people sign up and need other invitations sent to community members, just let me know. I know that you're all very busy business people as well, so if you can work that into your schedules, please do. But I really want to thank Lisa Anderson and her entire team, every counseling department. It's a lot of work. Ms. Frazine is doing the digital part, putting it all together, but it takes a lot of people to put it together. We're very proud of it and excited to show it off. Just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. I believe, President Townsend, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Moving on, item 3.1, budget update. Overview of the 2021-2022 Yuma Union High School District internal budget. Ms. Cordery, you're up.
Good evening. So for our M&O budget for this month, we should be at 33% of our budget if we distributed it evenly. We have currently spent 22% of that, or right at $20 million of a $90 million budget. For our capital, we have spent 7%, or $1.2 million of a $16 million budget. And if you open up the envelope or the folder that you have in front of you, the very last page, you have a piece of paper that looks like this. This is a new report you'll start seeing monthly. This is a new requirement that we are required to provide to you, and this is on student activities funds that we generate, and so that's student clubs is what these funds represent. So you'll see the beginning cash balance, which will be July 1st through September 30th for each one of our schools. You'll see the monthly revenue, the monthly expenditures, and our ending cash balance. You can see that we currently, at the end of October, had $683,000 in student club funds. And you'll also see, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, the year-to-date totals. Yes, the monthly totals are pretty much all of that activity because October's been a very busy month for us, for our students. They're getting ramped up and getting their clubs set up, and so we will continue to see a lot of activity in that area. Any questions I can answer?
Yeah. Real quick one here. Wow, on this monthly student activity report, wow, that's a lot of money. Interesting. How do they raise all this money?
Lots of fundraising, lots of sales of lots of different items.
Wow, well, it's impressive. Looking at
Yes.
San Luis, 170,000.
Yes.
A lot of money. Well, that's good. Thank you.
And I think I'd like to further emphasize, not only do the students generate those dollars, those all must be approved by students to use those dollars. This is just student club generated funds. It's a big process. The activity has to be discussed at a meeting. It has to be voted on at a meeting. Then it has to go through a whole other process with the advisors, the facilities, or whatever the requests are. It's a very big process, so students do an amazing job navigating that. But adults can't just go spend their money. Whenever those monies are requested, there have to be meeting minutes that also accompany the expenditures. So I just want to clarify that when it says student accounts, it's student accounts, both generated and spent.
That is great.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Cordery. Moving on, call to the public. Any person wishing to speak may present the information at this time only. All presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and a maximum of 15 minutes on each subject. Before you begin to speak, please identify yourself by clearly stating for the record your name. Comments by members of the governing board in response to any public comment will be limited to asking staff to review the matter or requesting rescheduling of the matter for further consideration at a later date. I have two that have signed up. Laura Marino.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I just have a couple of questions regarding board policy. So I was an out-of-district coach for Cibola, and I just had a couple questions about policies. So my first question is, what board policies do the out-of-district coaches fall under? because I've been doing a lot of research and I can't find anything about out-of-district coaches. Do they fall under professional staff, or do they fall under support staff? The next question is, since I was an out-of-district coach, I was given a supplemental contract, and I was asking, since the supplemental contract is an at-will employment agreement, if the employee were to resign or quit, would you continue to pay out the remainder of the stipend if it was in the middle of a season or the beginning of a season? Also, if the employer were to terminate the contract, would this be the case if a coach were an on-campus coach? So if a coach were a certified teacher teaching on campus, but they also coached, and they were given a supplemental contract, and the contract then was an at-will contract, would you still terminate that contract if that coach were a teacher from the school district? And my last question is, can out-of-district coaches be reassigned? And if so, what are the terms possibly for a reassignment? I'm not sure how much time I have left, but I reclaim all of my time, the remainder of my time, for answers or, like you said, rescheduling of some kind.
Okay, we cannot respond
Fine.
because it would be a violation of open meeting laws, but all of those questions could be answered at the campus level by the administration at the campus.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next person that requested to speak before the board is Hannah Whitson.
Hi, my name is Hannah Whitson, and I addressed you about 2 months ago, and I am a parent of a senior at Cibola High School, and I have an 8th grader getting ready to go into high school.
Sorry, go ahead.
And, sorry, I always get nervous. I'm a teacher myself, and so talking to my students, I'm just fine. I'd be much more comfortable discussing quadratic equations, if you will. But I am not here to talk about that tonight. Probably, thankfully, most of you are
I don't
thankful
even know
for
what a
that.
quadratic equation is.
I know. So that being said, I listen to all the great things that are going on at the schools, and I'm so thankful for the opportunities that we've had as far as Junie B. Jones, the musical. My daughter had one of the lead roles in that, and I thank you, Ms. Thompson, for coming and supporting the students. I feel that's really important. But I do still want to kind of come back to this idea of sending healthy students home for COVID, and just encourage you to continue to look at the data for COVID-19. And students that are under the age of 18, the risk of death from COVID is less than the risk of death from the flu. And please continue to review these policies. I know we want to keep our students safe. I too want my students safe, but I do also feel that this is something that continues and warrants continual reviewing. These healthy students, regardless of whether or not they've sat next to somebody who has COVID, they need to be in the classroom. They need to be learning. And secondly, I really wanted to kind of address this idea and one of the goals of the district, which is that we prepare our students for that are in high school for college and career readiness. I feel this is a really important goal, and as a professor at AWC, I will have many students that are fresh out of high school, and they come to me, and there is this expectation that any and all late work and tests will be made up. And in many college courses, and in mine, most of the time this is not the case. Obviously, there's always accommodations, but what I'm noticing is in my daughter's high school classes is that the expectation is that late work and tests, they can make it up multiple times. So I would just like to really encourage for the success of the students is that we really set a high standard for students that demonstrates that there are consequences to our actions, such as if we don't turn in work, maybe we're penalized points, okay? Additionally, I really feel that we need to utilize class time more productively. In one of my daughter's AP classes, over a week was spent reviewing for a makeup exam after poor test results. This was a wasted week for many students. They know that they have multiple opportunities to take a test, so many do not try for the first test. Unfortunately, this leads to many wasted hours. Okay, there is little incentive to work hard and study when assignments are initially given. So I would just really encourage you to please set a high expectation for all students, hold them accountable, and prepare them for the real world. You know, if our teachers come unprepared to class, there's consequences. And I ask that we hold these students to a high standard. They are capable. And I feel that this would really help set them up for college and career. So thank you for taking the time to hear me out. And I'm sure you'll be seeing me next month.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all the people that are registered to speak, or is there anybody else that'd like to address the board? Okay, thank you. Moving on. Consent items, adoption of items of a routine nature and those that normally do not require deliberations on the part of the governing board. A board member may pull items which will be discussed and voted on separately. Is there any item that would like to be pulled, or is there a motion to approve the consent items?
I move that we approve the consent items.
Motion has been made by Ms. Mellon, second by Mr. Lotta, to approve the consent items as presented. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.1, consideration to accept donations. There's quite a few. Let me read them. To Cibola High School, the following community members made donations to Cibola High School's FFA chapter to be used for their annual barbecue. Holiday Seed, $40. Mission Plumbing, LLC, $100. River City Adjusters, $250. Sunset Nursery, $300. RV World Recreation Vehicle Center, $500. R&H Farms, $500. Dune Company of Yuma, $500. Coronation Peak Ranches, $500. Nova Home Loans, $250. Nutrient Ag Solutions, $200. Sunland Chemical Company, $200. Desert Excavating, $500. Amigo Farms, $100. BLT Companies, $200. Rayorta Construction, $200. Griffin Ranches, $250. To the Raider Theater Booster, donated lights to Cibola High School for use in the auditorium. This donation is valued at $1,616.90. Thunderbirds Foundation made a donation of $1,000 to Cibola High School's girls golf team and a donation of $1,000 to Cibola High School boys golf team. Donors Choose donated 16 books to the Cibola High School Library circulating collection. This donation has an estimated value of $288. The Education Foundation of Yuma County donated a one-year subscription for Junior Library Guild graphic novels High Plus to Cibola High School. The subscription will be added to the library circulating collection. Donation has a value of $270. The Running Raiders Booster Club donated $4,150 to Cibola High School. The donation will go toward the cost of purchasing a high jump pit for the track team. Ms. Deborah Stanley donated boys basketball uniforms, practice jerseys, and shooting shirts to Cibola High School boys basketball. The apparel will be checked out to athletes during the basketball season. This donation has a value of $5,000. To Gila Ridge High School, Ms. Sierra Martin and Mr. Mike Young donated materials to Gila Ridge High School's Skills USA Welding Club. These materials will be used for the Breast Cancer Awareness Keychain fundraiser. Donation is valued at $19.42. The Arizona Cardinals Football Club gave a donation of $1,000 to Gila Ridge High School. The donation is to be used by the athletic football program. At Kofa High School, Our Choice Human Services donated $500 to Kofa High School's FBLA Club. This donation will be used to purchase merchandise for the Kofa Student Store. Miss Deanie Hinkle of Westward Village donated a variety of art for books and art magazines to Kofa High School's art class. These items will be available for students to use for ideas and projects. The estimated value of the donation is $250. Ms. Tammy Foley donated $900 to Kofa High School's Chapter of Veterans Heritage Project. This donation will be used to purchase concession supplies for the soccer season. The Kofa Dance Club donated dance costumes to Kofa High School Dance Department. These costumes will be made available for student use for showcases. This donation is valued at $2,565.24. Miss Amy Seeley donated a variety of art supplies to Kofa High School's art club. This donation has an estimated value of $400. To San Luis High School, Mr. Rod Seabree of Spindle Cooling and Warehouse, LLC, donated mild steel materials to San Luis High School's vocational welding program. The materials will be used to build 2 monuments for the San Luis Industrial Park, giving juniors and seniors in the welding program work-based experience. This donation is valued at $3,656.94. Comité de Bienestar Incorporated donated $500 to San Luis High School's girls soccer program. This donation will be used to pay for tournament lodging and soccer equipment such as soccer balls and speed poles. At Yuma High School, Miss Kathy Sullins Connor donated various memorabilia to Yuma High School, including items from 1945, a 1971-72 Yuma High School poncho, a 1973 class picture, and a 1972-73 football pen. These items have historical value and have not been given a monetary value. It is recommended the governing board accept the above listed donations. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Gonzalez, seconded by Mr. Lara to accept the above listed donations. Is there any questions or discussion? This is a very generous community, as attested to by this list of, we appreciate all the donations. So if there's no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Consideration to approve authorized resolution for issuance of sale of school improvement bonds and adopting post-issuance procedures. It is to consider, and if deemed advisable, to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of and sale of school improvement bonds of the district and adopting certain post-issuance continuing disclosure procedures and issuance and post-issuance tax compliance procedures. Sounds like a lawyer wrote that. Ms. Cordery, can you explain this to us?
Nope. But I have people that can. So tonight we have with us Mr. Jim Gill from Gus Rosenfeld. He's the bond counsel for this project. And we also have Jim Strickland and Julie Bice from Wedbush Securities and Inc., and they are our financial advisors. So we have them with us tonight virtually, and they will be presenting this item.
And just for clarification, welcome guests, but governing board members, if you do have questions or any interaction, please speak directly into your microphone so that our virtual guests can hear us clearly.
Who's going to speak first, Ms. Cordery? Mr. Strickland? It's muted.
I've unmuted.
Yes, there.
Mr. President, members of the board, it's Jim Strickland. I think that you asked if a lawyer wrote that resolution, and the lawyer that wrote the resolution is Jim Gill with Gus Rosenfeld, and he can explain it, and I will defer to him. And I'm here to talk about the structure and the process to the extent you have any questions on how we went about selling these bonds.
Can Mr. Gill hear us? I don't think he's hearing us.
Mr. Gill, can you hear us?
Diane, I just heard you there, but I
Okay.
haven't heard anything before then. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. So the question was if you could explain, we feel like this document's been written by an attorney, and if you can explain what this document is before us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Diane. Mr. President, members of the board, this resolution, bond resolution, is similar in form to what you last approved 3 years ago. It is basically authorizing the sale and issuance of school improvement bonds from the district's 2015 bond election. The only difference really from 3 years ago is that now we've thrown in an option so that the bonds can be sold either competitively, meaning Wedbush, Mr. Jim Strickland, would take bids on the district's behalf to purchase the bonds, or the bonds could possibly be placed directly with a bank or financial institution. So we have that option depending on what the market dictates, whatever the best deal is for the district. So that's kind of the method of sale. And we have the governing board dictating to the superintendent and Diane the authority to choose that method, working with Wedbush. So it's not definitive tonight, but we do provide the option, so to speak. And these bonds that I'm speaking of will not exceed $19,478,000. That's within section 1 of the resolution. We set that maximum amount. That's the remaining authorization from the 2015 election. In addition, the bond yield shall not exceed 2%, and the bonds shall mature no later than 2037. Those are all kind of the basic parameters that any bidder will have to meet in order to purchase these bonds. We also have the form of bond attached to the resolution, and we also, the governing board president mentioned the issuance and post-issuance compliance procedures and the tax compliance procedures. Those are basically done to satisfy the regulators, the Securities and Exchange Commission and the IRS, of the 2 governmental agencies that are active among tax-exempt bonds. So we have to have those procedures approved by the board and on file with Diane's office. With that, I'll take any questions, assuming I can hear them, or maybe Diane, you could translate, because I seem to hear you just fine.
Okay.
Does any board member have any questions? Mr. Lotta's pondering a question. No. Okay, I guess we don't. I think we all have received this in our packet and been able to go over to the best as we as novices, not in the attorney and financial world, can go over.
Ms. Cordery, could you please clarify, if you remember the number, but the savings?
Actually, I would ask Mr. Strickland to talk maybe a little bit more about the possibility of the Zions deal that we have with Zions Bank.
Thank you, Diane. Mr. President, members of the board, Jim Strickland with Wedbush Securities. Historically, we have sought the authorizing resolution and then proceeded into the open market with a rated bond issue sold competitively. And that was the course that we were on until about a month and a half ago. Zions Bank, First National Bank of Arizona, approached the district and showed interest in purchasing your bond issue that was slated to be sold competitively. Zions has done business with Yuma Union in the past, and they consider you to be a good credit. And it's a little bit unusual for a bank to buy a bond issue that has a maturity that goes beyond 10 years. Banks typically like to have shorter maturities, and so we do a number of direct placements with financial institutions where we issue a request for funding, and we contact banks, and we place a debt issue if it's short, 10 years or less. And with your issue being 15 and a half years, we weren't sure if they would approve it, and we asked them to proceed with their credit approval and to give us an interest rate. And in the interim, I contacted 4 other financial institutions that are active in purchasing direct placement debt in Arizona. So I contacted Bank of America, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, and one other. Look back at my notes. And so all of the other banks declined interest in purchasing your bonds, and they were given an opportunity to see the repayment schedule that had been proposed at a 1.75 interest rate by Zions. Zions subsequently approved the transaction, and then what I did is I took a current market repayment of a competitive bid, insured, and rated issue, which was likely to occur if the market stayed stable until we sold the bonds, which were slated to be sold in early December and closed in January. So we determined the break even with an open market transaction to be about 20 basis points higher than the Zions bid, and the Zions bid then results in approximately $375,000 of less debt service or savings over the life of the repayment of the bonds. And so seeing that, we have sort of geared this up to do a direct placement with Zions. They've given you a term sheet which was attached, I believe, to your documents. That was reviewed by bond counsel and is considered to be reasonable and appropriate under the circumstances. Diane, is there anything else you would like me to add?
I think you've covered it.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Did that lead to any questions from our board?
Yeah,
member? Mr. Lara.
I'm just curious, did the other banks mention or give a reason why they didn't go with it?
Bank of America said that they like more populated areas. Wells Fargo and U.S. Bank and the others all said that they didn't want to go. The most they would go out is 11 or 12 years, and so it's duration. So they did not want to go, even though they saw the same interest rate that potentially they could have had the opportunity to buy this debt at or compete for, and it just does not meet their internal parameters for making loans.
Well, I guess we won't do business with the other then.
I guess that's all the questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any more presentations?
I'm good.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure on this? Is there a motion? We don't have to take action at this point. We can make a motion.
I move that we, the governing board, adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of the school improvement bonds of the district and adopting certain post-issuance continuing disclosure procedures and issuance and post-issuance tax compliance procedures.
I'll second all of that.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor made by Ms. Millen, seconded by Mr. Lara, to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of school improvement bonds of the district and adopting certain post-issuance continuing disclosure procedures and issuance and post-issuance tax compliance procedures. Is there any questions? Does that cover everything we need to cover? Okay. Is there any questions or further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time and everything you've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Let me get to the right place here because there's a whole lot that goes with that. 6.3, consideration to approve an intergovernmental agreement with Maricopa County Air Quality Department. It is recommended that the governing board approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Maricopa County Air Quality Department to assist with the purchase of 6 new buses. That was in your packet. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the intergovernmental agreement with Maricopa County Air Quality Department to assist with the purchase of 6 new buses.
second that.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez, that the governing board approve the intergovernmental agreement with Maricopa County Air Quality Department to assist with the purchase of 6 new buses. Anything you would like to add, Ms. Cordery or Ms. Thompson?
I don't have anything unless there are questions,
Okay.
or if Ms. Cordery, well, she's
I just want to
back
add,
up there.
this is $1,083,000 worth of buses, and it's going to cost the district just short of $800,000. So it's quite a savings, and we have gotten this, how many times? 3? Is that our third time? So we are very thankful to the Maricopa County Air Quality Development for helping us out, because we have improved our bus fleet immensely, and really had a lot of newer buses. I'll put Ron on the spot again. You should be up here. What's the average age of our bus now? How much have we improved?
Well, we went from probably having 19, 20-year-old buses now to 17, 18-year-old buses.
Which, when you have 100 buses, is very significant to improve every year.
Well, I noticed all these replaced are between 15 and 20 years old. So.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Real quick question, really quick question. These buses are on propane.
Yes.
They run on propane.
Well, and we also have some travel buses coming in. Those are diesel. Because going out of town, it's harder to find places to fill with propane. But the 2 from buses here locally are all propane now.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Townsend, may I make a comment, please?
Yes, go ahead, Jackie.
I just really wanted to thank the district, Diane and your entire team, for all the fiscally responsible, wonderful leadership that we've been privy to learn about. It's very comforting at the end of the day. So thanks for always reaching out and getting that money from other sources.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 6.4, consideration to approve library card copy fees. It is recommended that the governing board approve the $1 fee per copy card that includes 10 copy punches, 1 for black and white and 2 for color, to be sold at campuses for student and staff convenience. Is there a motion?
Before we do that, what is 10 copy punches?
So in an effort to be as streamlined as possible with the collection of money, we are going to a system where you can buy a punch card instead of paying for each copy being made in a library, where the librarian or a staff member would be handling those dollars, and then they get put into a drawer somewhere. That does not, the auditors would not approve of that, and nor would USFR or anyone else. So we,
Or especially Ms. Cordery, who we're all afraid of.
so we you know, when we have to put things in place, you are the only body that can approve fees. And looking at the process and the practice, and always being very fiscally responsible and legally responsible, this would make it a nice streamlined process, and money would be collected where it should be collected.
Makes sense.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the recommendation by the staff.
Motion made by Mr. Gonzalez, seconded by Mr. Lara, that the governing board approve the $1 fee per copy card that includes 10 copy punches, 1 for black and white, 2 for color, to be sold at campuses for student and staff convenience. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item, consideration to approve the revised 2021-22 compensation package. That was in your packet for you to go over. It is recommended the governing board approve the revised compensation packet for the 2021-22 school year. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the revised compensation packet for the 2021-2022 fiscal year.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, seconded by Mr. Lara, to approve the revised compensation packet for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Is there any questions or comments? Would you like to add anything, Ms. Thompson?
I know you see this packet regularly. You probably memorize it, and then we change it on you now and again. But it is a living document, and it is meant to be a living document. And again, you are the governing board and the only body that can fully approve it.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 6.6, call for executive session. ARS 38-431.03 A2 and ARS 15-843F, discussion or consideration of records exempt by law from public inspection. It's an appeal. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Gonzalez, seconded by Mr. Lara to go into executive session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will go into executive session. You can all wait around for us to come back and adjourn the meeting if you would like, or you can leave. We appreciate you coming tonight. We'll take Okay. We are back in session. Next meeting of the board is a study session, Wednesday, November 17th, 5:15, professional services. I'll have to check and see if I've got that on my calendar. And
I am
we
sure
have a
you
regular meeting
do.
December 8th at 5:15 right here. Is there a motion to adjourn?
May I ask a really quick question?
Sure.
I have something on my calendar for November 18th at 11 a.m. for a virtual session. Did I make that up?
Probably.
Hold on a second. Let me check my.
Nope, it's on mine. It's the 17th.
It's.
I have the 17th, but I also have the 18th.
I don't have any. My dog's going to the vet on the 18th. I don't have anything. I don't have a virtual. It may have been across. Do you still have your attendance on the 15th or 16th, Board Member Kravitz, to the session for college, career, military?
I do. I have it at 8:30 and it's at the district office.
Okay, so those are the only two things that I have for your attendance right now.
Okay, well then I'll delete it happily. Thank you.
Great, thank you for checking.
Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.